I'll give you a specific example. There's a specific product that I was marketing, and the target was clearly an African American male consumer. They had the issue, they over-indexed for the issue, they spent more money on solving the issue, they were brand loyal when they found a product and a solution for it. It was the best type of market that you could find. And I had to jump through all kinds of hoops, finding census data and all this kind of data, and still after putting all this data and saying this is the target market, came back and said, well, we can't put a black person in the ad, because if we do, nobody's gonna buy this stuff. People are gonna think this is just a white person's brand. And this is a brand that had been, like, I literally remember saying to him, like, we've had by accident a black person in an ad out of this 100 years, maybe one time, by accident, he was in the back. He could have been a shadow if he was black or not, right? You don't really know. But the point is that, we couldn't spend the money.
When I was working with the innovation team on building out this new line, I gave them a lot of feedback about at least my personal experience, because my experience is not all experiences. But, when I'm talking to the chemist on the phone, she's like, well, telling me what this market desires, telling me what this hair type needs. And we had actually never met before. And I said to her, I am this market. I am this hair type. So I feel like sometimes they want you in the room, but they don't really trust you. They still think that they know more than you do. So like almost having you there is a facade, because they're not really including you in the decision making and valuing your opinion and your experience.
Corporate will never outpace culture. And because culture is ever evolving every day, you try to move these big structures towards a more cultural approach, and it's hard for them because a lot of times I've seen experiences where campaigns are being built, and I think they forget that the audience isn't them, it's the audience that they're looking to attract. And demographics and psychographics are very different, right? Like there's people of color, and then there's urban culture, which really has a larger range. So I think you really got to be able to tap into the mind of the consumer, not just where they are, but where they want to go as well.
We have our audience, let's target that audience. Sometimes there's the science part. I think the science is, you have the chemist, then you have the psychological part. There's the bias of, if I put this black man or this black woman who's darkest skin on the cover, is that going to perceive to my other side of the audience that, hey, we only care about him or her, or this is a negative thing. So it's mixing a bit of both. But I think when we understand that and having empathy, I know when we look at business, we're pushing products out, we're trying to generate revenue, we're trying to get sales, we're trying to be the number one company. But a lot of companies like Nike that are appealing to the emotions. And I think when you start to appeal to the emotions of people, not just how we look or how our hair type may be, that plays an effect. And I think companies are starting to understand that. I saw that Suave came out with their own brand, Pantene came with their own brand, where they're appealing to the empathy of how you should highlight a black woman, a black queen. So it's appealing to not just the science, but the psychological part and embracing that. And you're seeing people, the people who have a seat at the table, they're being vocal. I think being present, even if your impact might be small, being present and actually being able to vocalize, that's a stepping stone. We're not there yet, but it's a stepping stone forward.